This is Nintendo's beloved mascot, Super Mario, and this is Blender, a 3D rendering software. And in this video, I'm gonna make professional looking renders of Mario looking cursed. These renders are gonna range from being slightly uncomfortable to downright inappropriate, and they should be really funny. My first idea was to make an almost meme template-like render, where Mario would be holding a sign, and anyone could put anything they want on the sign. I started off by doing some basic posing and figuring out where the camera would go. What I quickly realized though was that the Mario model I was using did not have enough polygons, which means it wasn't smooth enough. And we want Mario smooth. In order to correct this, I added a subsurf modifier, which adds more geometry and is supposed to round out the model. The problem was that I ran into this. It's a little bit hard to explain what's happening here, but basically the geometry making up Mario's model wasn't connected to itself properly. I tried to fix it, which caused this to happen, and when I fixed that, it caused this to happen, and I was able to mostly fix this one, and even though it's not perfect, you'll barely notice it when the final render's done. I adjusted Mario's face to try to make him look more amusing, and then began to work on the sign material. It was actually really simple. I basically just made it look like a whiteboard. I added a fake shadow using a transparent gradient texture and then rendered the final result. Because this render was meant to be more of a meme template, I sent it to my Discord, link in description, so that they could fill it out. These are the images that I got back, and this one was my favorite. The next render that I wanted to make was going to be Mario flipping off the camera. I actually got very far along with the making of this render, but right towards the end, my power went out and I lost all my progress. I really didn't want to start over from scratch, so I decided to just move on. My next idea was very simple. Mario, but Mike Wazowski. Mario Wazowski. There's not much to say here. Obviously, I made the head really big and did some basic posing, but other than that, this was the easiest of all the renders. I still think it looks very nice though, and given Mario's thumbs up, I think he agrees. Speaking of thumbs up, there's another thumbs up you could first. Okay, moving on. My final idea was to have Mario enjoy a hot dog. I actually ended up making two renders for this of, let's say, different intensities. I began by modeling a hot dog, which was actually pretty easy. The wiener I made out of a cylinder that I just beveled on the edges, and the bun I made out of a cube that I extruded the sides out of. I slapped some nice looking hot dog shaders on it, and then began posing Mario. I decided to move his arm up because I thought it would look really funny if he was like telling the camera to wait. I don't know if it worked or if it just looks random, but I think it's funny. This render is obviously a little bit weird, but arguably isn't that bad. It's the next render that gets really red flaggy, probably gonna get me struck down by Nintendo, this video will get banned kind of thing. So let's begin. I started off by quite literally moving one bone in his torso, which already made the render about 10 times worse. Next, I moved the wiener to align better and began to work on his expression. I wasn't quite sure what to go for, so I decided to mimic that one emoji. I don't know what it's called, but you all know which one I'm talking about. I put the buns around Mario's feet and gave him a second wiener for the offhand. This was the final render, and I think it's beautiful. Bean Pog.